Hey, what's up, Pitmasters? INJECTING here with pitmasterclass.us. Welcome to my top 10 tips for Grand Champion Barbecue. I just released my Competition BBQ Secrets class that dives deep into everything you need to know about how to start walking and winning at barbecue cook-offs. Trust me when I say that winning is more fun. And the tips that are in this video will help you start walking and recouping your investment in cook-offs. This is one of 70 videos in the Competition BBQ Secrets class, which has already helped so many students achieve walks, wins, and grand champion victories. We've gotten a lot of great feedback from these students, so I wanted to share these tips with all of you out there. This course is included in my complete online Pitmaster class, but I'm also selling it separately for those of you who want to just focus on winning competition barbecue events. Shortly, I'll be giving you more details in the Competition Secrets class at the end of this top 10 video, so stay with me till the end for complete details. So let's dive into my top 10 tips for Grand Champion Barbecue. Tip number 1, you're not cooking for you. When you're competing in a cook-off, it is not what you like. You're cooking for a wide range of palates, the judges. This is one of the most important things to learn and one of the hardest for some cooks to accept. In competition, we're cooking for different people, different towns, varying age ranges, different genders, and people with different preferences. On top of the change in towns and people, your meats are also changing week to week, even if it's the same brand. It's a huge challenge. A key thing to remember is that you need to cook barbecue that everyone in that judging tent likes. They don't have to love it, but they do need to at least like it. That is what will give you a good score. What you don't want to do is offend the judges with turn-ins that they don't at least like. Good, well-balanced barbecue gets the good scores. Good scores get walks to the stage. Walks to the stage are what win contests. Impressing the judges in a good way is key, and that brings me to tip number 2. Buy good quality meats. The entire quality of your turn-in begins here. Let's take brisket for example. It's not unheard of for cooks to walk and win with choice grade or occasionally even select grade briskets. You ever hear of the saying, even a blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while? Oftentimes, you're cooking against some of the best teams in the country and even in the world when you show up to a cook-off, especially the big ones. Most top cooks who are walking and winning consistently are cooking at least a high-end prime, a certified Angus beef prime, an 1855 or a Wagyu or an Akaushi brisket. These are the top tier meats which make lesser grades pale in comparison. So why bring a knife to a gunfight? Wouldn't you rather have twin revolvers or even that bazooka? Boom! Spend a little bit more. Give yourself the best chance at winning. Remember again, you're not just cooking against some backyard heroes. Buying good quality meats will ensure that you are on at least equal footing with your competition when you go into battle. And what's the best way to make a good piece of meat even better? Well, that's tip number 3. Enhanced flavors by injecting and brining. In the old days, it used to be that if we could cook that brisket just right to fork tenderness with good moisture, we were good to walk to the stage. However, in today's competition world, we're using all kinds of flavor enhancers through injections and brines to really kick all the flavor up in our barbecue. I like to call it backyard barbecue on steroids. That means that it is still just barbecue, but it needs to be more impressive to a judge in one single bite. It has to be a one-bite wonder that makes the judge go, ooh, that's good. There's several ways to do this, and the 2 most common are with injections and brines. Let's talk about injections first. Absolutely, always, every single time, you must inject to be a consistent winner. Although once in a while, someone gets lucky without injecting. Remember that lucky squirrel? Yes, it happens. But the truth is that all top teams that I know of and that win consistently do inject their competition meats always. The game is all about that one bite flavor to impress the judges and to earn a good score. Part of that is with what and how much injection you're using on each specific meat. This can make all the difference between sitting on the sideline or walking to the stage. A good injection is prepared ahead of time and uses the right ingredients and the right ratios to enhance your barbecue. In today's competition world, there are specialized powders for brisket, chicken, and pork. They are designed specifically and scientifically to give maximum flavor, moisture, and tenderness. However, following the directions is not enough. You need to make it your own by tweaking it to suit regional flavor profiles or make it stand out a little bit better than your competitors. To drive this point home, assuming all other things being equal in a competition setting, if you give a judge 2 briskets, one injected and one not, without fail, they will choose the injected brisket simply because it has more flavor, moisture, and tenderness, period. Well, except for that occasional lucky squirrel once in a while. Now let's talk about brining. Over the years, this has been a go-to technique for chicken, but it is also popular for ribs and has been a top championship secret for many years, long before injection was a thing. To put it simply, brining allows flavor to be carried deep into the cells of the meat. Just try it once and you will be impressed. The first time I brined a bird was about 20 years ago, and bam, I hit an instant 3rd place chicken on my first brine. It has declined in popularity over the last few years due to advancements in injections, but it still has its place and without a doubt adds tons of moisture and flavor. The trick is what you brine with and for how long. This is what makes all the difference in the art of brining. I've been doing this for years and still tweak recipes for rib and chicken brines today. If you're serious about competition, it's absolutely worth experimenting with. And that brings me to tip number 4, which is what I like to call test and tune. This is super important. You must absolutely be willing to spend the time and money to test different recipes, products, and techniques until you have developed a winning recipe and a program that is smooth and mistake-free. Doing this not only helps with recipes, but it also helps you understand your cooker better and learn exactly how much charcoal and wood you will need to use to maintain steady temperature under different conditions and circumstances. Most importantly, this allows you to fine-tune your recipes before you go to a cook-off. You should almost never be experimenting or testing at a competition. Do all of that at home and show up ready and confident. In the same content, you need to be honest with yourself about your recipes and your results. Really and truly, if you're not walking or winning, no matter how good you think your recipes are, you probably need to start changing them. Test and tune, baby. It's a sure way to improve your game. It takes effort and a little money, but it will help you improve as a competitor and is a game changer. Now that brings me to tip number 5, fire control and clean smoke. Hey, I'm from deep South Texas and I love me some smoky mesquite flavor in my barbecue, but I don't want so much of it that I'm burping it up for days. Dark black smoke or thick white smoke is not the way to cook award-winning barbecue. You're probably better off having no smoke than either of those. Remember, you're not the judge, and the consistent way to the judge's hearts is with thin blue, light, translucent, almost invisible smoke, helping you reach your barbecue nirvana. That is what you are after. This will take some trial and error and some test cooks to get it done just right. And even then, the weather, the humidity, the wind, and many other factors like wood moisture can affect the smoke. This becomes a matter of knowing your product, knowing your barbecue cooker, and how it likes to run. All smokers and grills have a sweet spot where they operate best, and it usually takes a little adjustments with the air vents every time you cook to get it just right. On to tip number 6. Always use fresh spices and seasonings. If you're using the right combination of spices and seasonings and in the right amounts, you definitely need to make sure they are also fresh as well. This will always give you the best flavor, and good, well-balanced flavor is what will win competitions. You don't want to be using seasonings and rubs that have been sitting out for 6 months or a year. Remember, all the rubs out there have oils and other ingredients in them that become less prominent over time. They lose their punch, they lose their flavor. Once your rubs become hard and stale, you just need to throw them away. Fact of the matter is this: Most all of these spices and rubs were scientifically designed to pack maximum flavor and perform best when fresh, not when stale a year later. A lot of the big spice companies have food scientists on hand who engineer these products to excel and give maximum performance when fresh. If you're a bulk buyer like me, then only take what you need, press a little extra to the cook-off, and seal up the rest so it stays fresh longer. Don't leave your shakers and your rubs out in the sun, and if it's damp, rainy, or humid, keep the lids closed tight and in a spice box. So if in doubt, throw it out and get some fresh spices and rubs so your barbecue will impress the judges. Tip number 7 isn't just a piece of advice. It's one of my barbecue laws, and that is balance, balance, balance. At the end of the day, this is so important. Remember, a barbecue cook-off is still just barbecue, and barbecue is simple. It is meat, smoke, and fire. But the judges only get one bite, and they can't be blown away by overpowering smoke or spice, or be underwhelmed by bland or tough meats either. All flavors and textures must be in balance to have the best chance at winning. Remember that the meat is the star of the show. Everything else is the supporting actors. Perfect texture, tenderness, and moisture with just the right amount of rub and spice, plus that perfect kiss of smoke, all together make a good impression on the judges, which translates to good or great scores. You want a brisket that melts in your mouth, ribs that are just about fall off the bone, and chicken that is moist and full of flavor, and again, all with just the right amount of seasoning and the right kiss of smoke. That, my friends, wins barbecue competitions. Tip number 8 is less about cooking and all about mindset. And mindset is everything when it comes to competition barbecue, or for that matter, any kind of competition. You need to have a positive state of mind if you want to be successful in the competition arena. The first step to winning is actually believing that you can win. The confidence comes from being willing to put in those testing and tuning efforts ahead of time so that you show up ready, prepared, and organized, knowing that you brought your A game. Don't worry about who else shows up or how many wins this team has or how many GCs someone else has. Nobody wins all the time, and any day can be your day. So always go in believing that you can win. Remember also that you can't soar with the eagles if you're flying with the turkeys, so stay away from negative people. Yes, they are in barbecue too. The battle is first won or lost in your head. Don't let anyone poison your thoughts. When your walks and wins come, take them humbly, and when your losses come, take them as learning experiences. Sometimes, even when you do everything right, it just isn't your day. Maybe you landed on a bad table, or maybe there was something just out of your control. It happens to all of us from time to time. But you have to believe that you can win every single time you show up, and remember, you can't win if you don't show up at all. The second part of the mindset is you need to be willing to change. I touched on this a little bit earlier, but it is absolutely part of the mindset also. The game keeps changing faster than ever, and you must change with it. There are so many new injections, brines, sauces, and rubs coming out lately that it can make your head spin and your wallet scream bloody murder. But in order to stay in the hunt, you'll need to try, test, and implement new things through testing and tuning at home. No matter how many first place calls your old recipe got you, if it hasn't hit in 5 or 6 events, you might want to need to change it or tweak it a little bit at a time. As painful as it is, sometimes you just need to throw it in the trash and start fresh all over. Tip number 9 is focus. You must show up ready to cook, and the ability to focus is in direct relation to how prepared and confident you are. Think about it. You already spent the money to enter the event. You bought the best meat, spices, and injections that you can afford. Don't throw all of this away by messing around or partying way too hard all day and all night. I can assure you this, all of the top teams show up ready, show up prepared, and show up with focus and clear intention. They have a set plan of action, and they are organized to the point that they can filter out distractions. A common practice to keep focused is to write out all of your timelines so you can stay accountable to them. A good way to stay on track is to set alarms on your phone. This is an expensive hobby and sport, so if you want to increase your chances at winning, then show up focused on a goal to win. Like I said, focus comes once you're confident in preparation, and it increases your chances of winning. Preparation means to have your injections and brines made, sauces ready, meats trimmed. It means getting into bed at a reasonable hour to get quality rest so you can start early, focus on your cooks, and minimize mistakes, distractions, and surprises. The level of competition is so high, and there are so many great cooks out there that sometimes it's the cook with the least mistakes that wins. Show up with clarity, with focus, and with the intention and goal of winning, and you'll be much more likely to be successful. And tip number 10 is get educated. This has become the number one most important thing that any cook can do. If you want to walk, if you want to win, and if you want to be at the top with all the other consistent winners, you need to continue educating yourself. All of the top teams in competition barbecue that I know have taken and continue to take classes, read books, watch videos, and continue learning. Think about this. After a game, professional athletes will watch their game videos over and over and over again to see where and how they can improve. Doctors, lawyers, and teachers, as well as other professionals, continue to go to conferences and continue learning and create progress in their fields. Athletes will hire coaches to help them with specific parts of their game, and they might even bring in mindset professionals to help them improve mentally and physically. Competition barbecue is no different, and you must continue to evolve, continue to change, and continue learning if you want to be consistent in the game. This takes effort, this takes money, this takes time and energy, but across any and all disciplines, this is constant. The best of the best keep growing, keep practicing, and keep learning. The game has changed and progressed so much in the last 20 years. What was once very secret and hard to find knowledge is abundant now. You must be committed to learning even when you're at the top of your game in competition. By committing to your continued learning, you will become more consistent, and that consistency in your game is what will give you the best chance of winning a barbecue contest. So there you have it, Pitmasters, my top 10 tips for Grand Champion Barbecue. Obviously, we're just skimming the surface here. We could go way more in depth in each of these subjects and talk for days, but competition barbecue is an individualized thing that evolves. The more you practice, the better you get, just like anything else. And that's why I created the Pitmaster class and the Competition BBQ Secrets, to help shorten your learning curve, to help you know what to practice, to help you know how to practice, and to help you find confidence and success much quicker. The Pitmaster class has already helped so many cooking teams to get their first walk or their first Grand Champion win. And just to give you all a quick idea of what's included in the Competition BBQ Secrets course, over 70 plus videos, I covered competition brisket, competition pork ribs, both spare and St. Louis, competition chicken, competition pork butt, and competition ribeye steak. For each of these meats, I go into deep detail on how to select each meat, how to trim each meat to perfection, flavor enhancing recipes for injections and brine, flavor profiles for rubs and seasonings, sauce blends for each meat, the complete cooking process, and techniques for slicing, plating, and presentation, ensuring that no details are left out and you have all the instruction you need to succeed at your next cook-off. Also included are exclusive discounts on the spices, rubs, and sauces that I use the most in the course. And since we are done with the major video sections, we're also in the works of creating exclusive behind-the-scenes content from cook-offs and in-person classes for those of you who want to attend a hands-on class. Essentially, you'll get to see a true and deep look into my competition processes and cooks. And to round out the Competition BBQ Secrets mini course, I'll be adding a section of competition cooking clinics done totally on the increasingly popular drum smokers in order to give you even more cooking options and versatility for competition events. So there it is. If you want to take your competition barbecue to the next level, you can sign up today for this 12-hour mini course by clicking right here or in the links in the description. But that's it, Pitmasters. I hope these tips were helpful. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, keep the smoke light and make it work. Boom!